After much ado, much sitting around, we now have Bangbush versus Three-Legged Cat. This map choice was done by the members of Three-Legged Cat, meaning that Bangbush will have first pick, after each team banned Sky Temple by Bangbush and Brax's Holdout by the members of Three-Legged Cat. So we know, regardless of how this game is going to go, neither of those maps are going to show up for game number 2. Early, they always decide to really just make us wait, you know? They gotta say, hey, let's go through the whole timer before we see what the ban's going to be, but Bangbush now going to show us a Junkrat ban on Battlefield of Eternity. Now you might think, hey, Battlefield of Eternity, that's a map where wave clear isn't necessarily the most important thing. Why ban Junkrat? And while that is true, wave clear can still be utilized very effectively in clearing the side lanes, and also very importantly for Junkrat, his ability to control vision. Those traps able to just work so well on a map like Battlefield that has so many bushes and such little vision, as well as the concussion mine also serving as a ward. Similarly, speaking of vision control, Hanzo also offering teams a high level of vision control, as well as strong immortal race, not going to be allowed here. Lucio, a near permanent ban in MC, no surprises there to see it taken away, as well as Li Ming. I spoke a bit with Cavalier Guest last series about if we potentially think Li Ming might be a little bit overpicked, might have a little bit too much participation here in these Masters Clash games, but who knows. Now, waiting to see what we can find on the members of Bangbush, we do see Swamp Grota going to go ahead and lock in the first pick Blaze. Certainly one of the strongest offlaners in the game. A very consistent pick on nearly every map. And we have Metal Door picking up the Urel and Drakir picking up that Lunara right here for the side of Three-Legged Cat. Sorry, I just got something going on at my house that's taken a bit of my attention, but everything is A-okay. Urel and Lunara, both common picks, especially in the European play. You see a ton of Urel with these players, always able to get good vision control out of that Lunara, especially with the Sentinel Wisp, so important on Battlefield of Eternity, as well as contributing decent race pressure and just being a solid DPS. Meanwhile, with Chromie banned away, the members of Bangbush select the other mage that's able to poke at this objective from extremely far, Chromie. With that Sandblast, the Chromie able to get immortal DPS from long distances, as well as follow up on Lobber whenever he hits that stun. Even if ties a screen away, he'll be able to get some follow-up damage. Uther going to be banned out by the members of Three-Legged Cat right there. They want to avoid the enemy team being allowed to have those strong burst and anti-burst options with Uther. Honestly though, with the first pick, Lunara, and it being an unlikely double support draft, I do find the Uther ban a little bit questionable. I do think that if you're going to be playing Lunara, and you know the enemy team has already shown that they can't double support the Uther, I'm not really sure why you would ban it out, but again, these players know more than I do about what they're up against and about how their scrims have been going. I'm sure they have a reason for their decision. Meanwhile, Bangbush banning out the Garrosh. Ooh, that's going to be an ETC from Johan Ayaya, as well as Anduin for Captain Rex right there. Interesting choices. ETC, always one of the tanks most susceptible to getting focused and targeted by the enemy team. This largely comes from the fact that ETC has armor that he only gets after casting abilities. So, if ETC can't cast any abilities because he's getting CC chained down, then he is one of the most fragile tanks in the game, thus making him a classic target for enemy teams. We have Ana and Genji picked up right here for the members of Bangbush, and very notably, I must point out to you, chat, There are two excellent targets for Nano Boost from this Ana on the side of Bangbush. If Genji can get that Nano Boosted Dragon Blade, getting huge extra spell power for the damage, or Chromie, simply as a mage receiving that Nano Boost to spit out so many abilities, either one, excellent targets. The last pick from Three-Legged Cat will be a Sylvanas, meaning that Three-Legged Cat has very little dive to punish this last pick Ana right here. Ana gonna be sitting pretty in that back line, not too worried about that dive pressure, and gonna get some big healing this game. And of course, this is the final series of the day at the moment. Let's take another look at those standings going into this Three-Legged Cat, the number 7 seed, facing off against Bangbush, the number 3 seed in this overall tournament at the moment, trying to see what they can do for each team right here. Bangbush would love to get some points to hopefully be able to leapfrog over Oxygen Esports. Similarly, Three-Legged Cat, if they could manage to get ahead of Masters Clash Academy with the assistance of some points here today, as well as some points next weekend, that would reduce the amount of steps needed to progress through the Gauntlet. We of course have one more week of group stage play after this one before we head into the Gauntlet, the progressive elimination of various teams leading up to the finale, which will be hosted in person in France for Masters Clash. We are now in game right here. Let's go ahead and load in. On the right side of the screen, we have Three-Legged Cat Drakir on that Lunara, Johan Ayaya on ETC, Captain Rex playing the Anduin, Harayath on Sylvanas, and Menildor hitting the stanky leg right there on that Yrel. For the left side of our screen, for Bangbush, we have Swamp Grota on the Blaze. Lauber going to be playing Muradin, very aggressive tank player. Really look forward to him using that Dwarf Toss effectively. Bishop's on the Genji, GG Tai on the Chromie, and Skoog going to be playing that Ana. Genji, of course, going to spend a lot of his time floating between these two lanes looking for those rotations. I fully expect to see a lot of that play right here. If Menildor oversteps at any point, he can always expect a Genji rotation, but of course Yrel is one of the harder offlaners in the game to gank effectively. She is extremely tanky, she has the armor, and she has the mobility to escape the ganks as well. Expect to see it, but there is Bishops pressuring Menildor already, as Menildor showing the Dauntless pick. Not a lot of physical damage on the side of the Bangbush team for Menildor to be avoiding with Dauntless, but a strong Yrel talent in general, and also reducing the physical damage done to Yrel from all sources, meaning that Yrel could abuse Dauntless to go under towers, for example, as Lauber lands the Stormbolt onto Johan Ayaya, gets power slid in response. He should still have Dwarf Toss, able to hop over the wall right on out of there and get out of danger. Genji now, after having joined this bot side fight, gonna still be floating between these two lanes at the moment, doing his best to not show on the map, staying just out of vision of those minions. Genji is not visible. There he is right there, just showed to the red side team. Gonna use that agile dismount to land right on Johan Ayaya. Both teams wanting to take this neutral siege camp if they can, and after having started it, Three-Legged Cat looks like they're giving it up. Never mind, here's Johan Ayaya. Both teams looking like they want this. That's a sleep dart onto two members of Three-Legged Cat. Oh, the damage is huge onto Lauber and Johan Ayaya, but Lauber too low actually will go down. Gets first blooded by Three-Legged Cat. Tai going to be second after he gets out of this time trap. Johan Ayaya will go down as well. Here's Menildor on the rotate, trying to finish off Bishops, but not able to find it. Menildor gonna head back on top before they lose any soak to Swamp Grota right here. Swamp Grota gonna take this opportunity to get some push pressure, but speaking of push pressure, so is Harayath and Drakir on this bottom lane. Gonna use those black arrows from Sylvanas, shutting down the gate of Bangbush, getting whatever siege pressure they can. Now going into first objective of the game, of course, you always want to take these bruisers if you can help it. This is what you're going to see nearly every time in a Battlefield of Eternity game. I say that though, and Bangbush has yet to make a move toward the bruiser camp of their own. Bishop's now looking for the gank onto Menildor, will agile dismount directly onto him for the slow, but not able to find anything as far as the ganks go, and Three-Legged Cat completing their bruiser camp significantly ahead of the members of Bangbush. Bangbush, however, still on their bruiser camp, will get it right about the time that this Immortal is going to spawn. Three-legged cat looking for aggressive position on the race right here. Lobber connecting the Stormbolt onto Captain Rex in that backline. Harayath using the Shadow Wave to walk out. Metal and Swamp Grota in a little bit of a duel there in the top lane. Lobber jumping in on the members of Three-Legged Cat. Lands the Stormbolt onto Harayath, followed up by Bishops. And no, Harayath actually Shadow Waves directly into the Dragon's Breath from the Chromie, going to cause their death immediately. A 5v4 now in favor of Bangbush, who continue to put the pressure on. Captain Rex yanking Metal out of danger, and now notice Bishops transitioning over for the race. Bishops very, very low on HP and mana, but you don't need very much of those in order to simply be able to contribute damage onto the Immortal, and now an early Immortal lead starting to materialize for the members of Bangbush. Bishop's very, very low in the back. Time Loop going to go out onto Yrel, perfectly followed up by Swamp Grota as Metal drops extremely low. Dragon's Breath almost finishing them off. Lobber fishing for that Stormbolt, not able to find it. And this is actually a Three-Legged Cat lead in the Immortal race after Metal just barely not picked off by the members of Three-Legged Cat. The DPS of Three-Legged Cat, though, for a second looking for the damage, and that may have caused them to lose this race. It's a very tight one between these two teams. Three-Legged Cat, though, with the slight advantage as they're both simply just racing it out, but Three-Legged Cat here will win objective number 1 by a little over 2k. Bishop's now stepping forward aggressively. Blade dashes into there. Here's Swamp Grota getting ready for the defense. Will cycle down to bot lane, actually, to get the off-soak as his teammates group up top for the 4-man defense against this first objective of the game. As always, the Punisher is ranged until it loses its shield, at which point it converts to a melee attacker and becomes significantly easier to defend against. For that reason, it gets much closer to the players, allowing them to hit it easier. And this first Immortal, not going to do a ton, but it will get some damage with the assistance of Harayath. Actually, hold on, it's not taking a lot of damage from the members of Bangbush. Johan Ayaya going to get pulled out by Captain Rex, and First Fort does not go down just quite yet, but very nearly by the members of Three-Legged Cat. They would have loved to confirm that there and get some of that passive XP and side pressure. Time Stop actually does not connect from Tai. Attempted to be used onto Johan Ayaya. Johan Ayaya simply walks right past the Time Loop directly onto the Chromie. The Time Trap. Time Loop is not coming just yet. Chromie now hitting 8. Has Temporal Loop, is going to be fine. And now it's not going to be fine. Sorry, I was reading a text that I got from a family member at the same time. Alrighty. And you ever do that? You ever say something that you're reading even though you don't want to? Your brain's a weird thing. Regardless, Chromie did go down right there. Three-Legged Cat with the push pressure here in the top lane. There you have a gigantic wave that will surely finish off this fort. Meanwhile, Bangbush able to get that side pressure in the bottom lane, looking for whatever they can as they finish off that bot siege. Swamp Grota somehow landing that stun onto Yrel will set up the immediate kill pressure onto Metal. Temporal Loop comes out onto Johan Ayaya. Bangbush trying to pressure this 5v4. Johan Ayaya taking big damage, and I mentioned it before, ETC so absolutely killable in this CC, but when you've got an Anduin yanking you out, that certainly goes a long way to help right there. Bangbush now 3 kills to 3 compared to Three-Legged Cat. Still siege camp from Three-Legged Cat pushing out this top wave, and a lot of damage going out onto this top gate, forcing a rotation from Swamp Grota. Meanwhile, red side will certainly go over to their bruiser camp. Meneldor about to start it right here. Alrighty, level 10 advantage is secured for Three-Legged Cat. Each team racing onto each other's immortals, but Three-Legged Cat with the easy advantage at the moment. Muradin and Blaze in those side lanes just trying to pick up those soak, trying to get level 10 for the members of Bangbush, which has been secured. Temporal Loop onto Johan Ayaya, uses that Crowd Surfer to escape, but goes right into the arms of Swamp Grota, able to stun out of there. Oh, X-Strike trying to finish off Johan Ayaya, can't find it, but the temporal, what's it called? The Stormbolt from Muradin sets it up. Sorry, I'm very, very distracted. There's some very important stuff happening with my family at the moment. These texts are throwing me off. I shouldn't be looking at my phone. Let's go. Metal now does does walk away with Team Lunara getting dropped. The members of Bangbush looking for the race right here. 5v4. That's an aggressive stage dive from Johanna Yaya right into the backline of Bangbush. Does necessitate a leap of faith pulling them out, but another crowd surfer. What an excellent play from Johanna Yaya, hopping over the wall, delivering that light bomb, but Hariath taking a lot of damage in response will go down. It's a 1-for-1 between these two teams. Stormbolt from Lauber, Menildor forced to jump out of the wall to escape, and Johanna Yaya hitting yet another big power slide into a double immortal stun. Johanna Yaya kind of playing out of their mind on the CTC if you ask me. Now Bishop's walking away with the rest of the members of Bangbush. Three-Legged Cat a little bit behind on this immortal race, however. This immortal race now starting to go over to the side of Three-Legged Cat as their offensive continues. Johanna Yaya running very, very low on HP and mana, trading hits with Bishops, but Johanna Yaya starting to fall, will go down to Bishops in spite of the attempted mind control from Hariath. Now Swamp Grota chasing out Drakir. Jet Propulsion just lacking a little bit of length necessary to get the stun would have been absolutely massive, and it will be a Bangbush successful second objective, picking up this immortal. Swamp Grota gonna go ahead and clear top lane, trying to prepare this immortal to push. You want to have a minion wave with your objective or with any large push whenever possible. Meanwhile, here's a gank onto bot lane. Menildor able to interrupt the dwarf toss from Lauber. The Hammer able to buy them some time. Johanna Ayaya gonna get stunned by that immortal on the defense right here. Shield has been dropped. Three-Legged Cat unlikely to lose a fort in the top lane, but notice Bangbush opting for the opposite side pressure here in bottom. Temporal Loop coming out onto Menildor, who actually uses it to jump into the members of Bangbush as a gap closer, and all of a sudden Ty receives the nano boost, but he is deep in there. This isn't where he wants to be. Johanna Yaya simultaneously sliding through Ty and advancing forward with that crowd surfer directly towards Skoog. Menildor now as well looking at Skoog, gonna jump right on top of him here in just a moment. There it is. Stormbolt over the wall from Lauber does not connect, and now Three-Legged Cat with the kill advantage, 7-6. And also almost losing this top fort right here. Swamp Grota wants to confirm this if he can. Bishop's forcing Hariath back on out. Hariath gonna Shadow Wave out. And at least Bangbush able to secure top fort, but on the opposite side of the map, Three-Legged Cat applying opposite pressure, able to make it a fort for fort trade. And when your bot fort, when you take a fort that's so much more healthy than the one you lost, because that fort for Three-Legged Cat top lane was honestly about as good as dead. With as little HP as it had, that is a massive trade in favor of Three-Legged Cat so far. And Three-Legged Cat, this does not look like the number 6 team versus the number 3 team, despite what their points disparity so far in this tournament may tell you. So far, Three-Legged Cat looking absolutely solid in the early game. Of course, this is not an insurmountable lead by any means. However, either team can still win it, but definitely an advantage in favor of Three-Legged Cat at the moment as they have this fort. Mind control from Hariath does not land onto Bishops, neither does Power Slide, and here's Lauber on the scene. Will land Stormbolt, followed up by Sleep Dart onto ETC. Drakir, though, getting big damage onto Lauber. It is, of course, a Muradin who is able to heal. He's going to be able to walk right on out of there. Swamp Grota clearing out Lunara's Wisp in that bush with the lit oil. Now the members of Bangbush, as well as the members of Three-Legged Cat, each team going over to their bruiser camp as we get ready for objective number 3. Swamp Grota and Bishops getting a bit of push pressure on the bot lane. Any additional chip damage that they can do does make their next immortal more effective, if at all possible. Level 13s have been achieved a while ago for both teams. Let's look at those talents right here. Notably, minus armor been selected for Sylvanas, looking for a bit of burst pressure on the side of Three-Legged Cat. Armor reduction also effective for making Blaze a viable kill target. Pyromania with that 40 armor normally means Blaze is almost unavailable at times to kill unless you have a massive body block. Johanna Ayaya will get stunned by the members of Bangbush and just absolutely drops like a stone right there, deleted in a fraction of a second. Absolutely great stuff off of the CC. Menildor now forced to use that Ardent Defender. Sleep Dart will not connect onto them, but so Jet Propulsion will. Mind control on the response on his Swamp Grota forces out his bunker, and all of a sudden a double kill from Bang Bush, that's exactly what they wanted to see right there leading into this objective. They did have to give up some pressure onto their topside gate as they were doing it, so if they didn't find anything, that would have been quite the risky maneuver, but Bang Bush certainly happy with that double kill right there, certainly happy even if it means the loss of their top gate. Immortals are in race position, which at the moment is largely beneficial to Bang Bush, and the members of Three-Legged Cat, resigned to not fighting without their Urel, are simply going to try to take as much Immortal health off this as they can, recognizing that they will have to defend against this Immortal, and they simply need to take as much shield as they can to try and preserve their structures. Level 16s have been achieved for both teams, the active reload for Ana in particular of note. Also, don't forget that Dwarf launch for Lauber here with the 16 will mean that he will have very long range jumps available to him, able to hop walls. That, if Three-Legged Cat's not available and not particularly aware of, might mean some surprising jumps. Notice Lauber and Svamp playing very far back there, out of vision. Lauber still lurking. And Lauber would love to jump this wall whenever possible, just staying on his mount right here, ready to jump in on the members of Three-Legged Cat as soon as his teammates find an opening. There it is right there, Lauber hopping over the wall, looking for the Stormbolt, does not find it. Level 16s have been secured for the members of Three-Legged Cat. You can see their talents at the bottom of your screen right here. ETC holding on to his choice, will choose the Showstopper for the additional armor. Lauber jumping forward, misses another Stormbolt, and now this Immortal getting close to finishing off this top keep. It will go down on the side of Three-Legged Cat. Bang Bush not looking to end the game just quite yet, will start to retreat, but no, here's actually an aggressive move forward. The stun goes out onto Johan Ayaya. Ty has been nano boosted in the backline as Chromie, but Bang Bush, unable to find a kill, will back off right here. Johanna sliding forward, will immediately receive the temporal loop, going to use the stage dive stasis as a way to dodge it. Meanwhile, Haraya taking big damage in the backline, trying to shadow wave on out of there, and the damage continues. The chase, Captain Rex light bombing on himself. Blaze able to dodge it with the bunker, but Captain Rex, it's not enough to save him. Trying to shoot those flamethrowers over the wall to finish off Drakir, not able to find it. Stun actually interrupts the power slide from Johan Ayaya. Haraya backing right on out of there, but Johan Ayaya left on an island, will get finished off. Menaldor has the Ardent Defender, is forced to use it to survive. Bang Bush able to pick up a double kill right there. A full level lead now being enjoyed by Bang Bush at the moment, up 18-16, and they're continuing to push forward here, looking for this core finish. Bang Bush trying to get whatever damage they can. Harayath once again not landing the mind control. The accuracy has been a little questionable this game. The double temporal loop onto Sylvanas will finish them off. Menaldor is next to fall, and with that, Bang Bush surely securing the victory here in game number 1 of the series. Blaze will go down on the side of Bang Bush, however, and this core still has a lot of HP, so maybe I spoke too soon. Lauber jumping forward will land the stun combo onto Captain Rex next. Captain Rex is next to fall. ETC stage diving in directly onto Lauber, but Lauber is unafraid. Ty finishing off the Lunara though on the other hand, and this core is still falling. The damage continues from Bang Bush. At this point, it's just a formality. The core is over. Well played. A 16-minute victory here. Not quite as quick as some of the other ones we've seen, but still finishing the game before 20. There is Bang Bush taking game number 1. Well played by Bang Bush in our final series of the day, able to pick up game number 1. We do, of course, still have one more game after this. We are going to have the opportunity to see Three-Legged Cat if they want to take the map pick or the first pick heading into our last game of the day. And we've got that post-game scoreboard right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Trying to see if anything sticks out in particular. Very notably, a lot of the damage on the side of Three-Legged Cat coming in the form of auto attacks, and of course, nanomachine coating. Not only is this good for reducing auto attack damage dealt to your team, but it's also stellar for reducing damage that the enemy team does to the Immortal. Every hero's auto attack DPS is relevant in the concern of dealing damage to the Immortal, and Blaze, in general, with his kit and with that nanomachine coating, able to be such a nuisance onto the members of Three-Legged Cat as we now wait for the map to be chosen for the resulting game, and we can get this lobby. Alrighty, we do indeed have a lobby. Let's go ahead and see what the final map of the day will be. As we load in right here, hey, the last game of the day going to be played on Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom was chosen by Bangbush, three-legged cat, after losing that game, choosing to take the first pick. Bet they choose Braxis. Braxis was one of our banned maps right here. Sky Temple and Braxis being the two banned maps. So absolutely not an option. And honestly, I've been wondering if I'll ever see a Braxis game in any of these games that I commentate, as it appears to be a permanent ban. And to an extent, I almost wonder if a map is banned this often, it almost feels like nobody wants to play on it. Therefore, it almost feels like it doesn't even need to be banned, right? Because what's the point of banning a map that the other team isn't even going to choose? That's the way I see it. Like, because if every team is perma-banning Braxis and it can never reasonably be expected to play in competitive, then I feel like teams aren't even practicing Braxis holdout. It wouldn't surprise me, right? Why would you practice something that's not relevant at all to tournament play? And it honestly surprises me then that it even needs to be banned out anymore, but hey, maybe once you stop banning it, maybe teams actually call your bluff. Who knows? I'm just a little bit surprised that we haven't seen the evolution of a sort of gentleman's agreement between these teams. Regardless, Braxis still continually banned out. Game 2, Towers of Doom, first pick going over to three-legged cat, map pick by Bangbush as we get ready for this draft. Last game, potential last game. This is the last game no matter what. This very last draft that we have on Towers of Doom is going to be our final game of the day. Both teams are ready, so all we have to do at this point is just hop into the draft. We've got one last game of Heroes of the Storm available for you here today on this Sunday of Masters Clash before we finish off the day. Alrighty, let's get into it. Towers of Doom, Bangbush versus three-legged cat. Yeah, the way it works in Masters Clash, at least in the group stage, is that it's always a best of two. There are always two games every series, no matter what. Even if the two teams split the games, it is merely a tie. Each team takes 1 point, and they all go home. If you, of course, dominate your opponent, you win both games, you gain 3 points. Best of twos were a common format in League of Legends China, back when I used to watch League competitively in like Season 4. Shows my age a little bit right there. But I remember China consistently playing best of twos while everybody else was playing like best of threes, best of fives, that kind of thing. Junkrat and Hanzo going to be the bans right here. Not going to allow those ranged assassins that just do so much for their team. Blaze banned away as well. Swamp Grota first picked it last game, not wanting to run into it again, especially on a map where those double soak offlaners are just the default expectations, certainly very, very strong on Towers of Doom. Lucio banned out as well, no surprises there. Fairly standard early bans. Maybe haven't seen a ton of Hanzo first bans overall compared to a lot of Hanzo priority, as Menaldor now locks into the Haka. Haka always means, of course, that you have that invade threat on Towers of Doom, but one thing we've seen offlaners be very good about in Masters Clash is rotating down to match the potential Haka invade threat. And there is Swamp Grota picking up the Hogger, both offlaners locked with the first picks of each respective team, and Bishop's gonna go with Sylvanas as well. So as I mentioned before just a moment ago, expect to see Swamp Grota with an early rotation toward the Sapper Camp in the early game, so that way, even if Menaldor does decide to brush Stalker into the action, he will be met with a 5-on-5 rather than an advantageous 5-on-4. Rhaegar and Lunara are going to be picked up by Captain Rex and Drakir right here. And every time I think about what Lauber is going to pick up, I can't help but imagine that Muradin's at least on his radar. Lauber so good at fishing for those aggro plays, trying to get that dwarf toss into a stun. But still a lot of opportunities for what he might be able to pick right here. Tychus gonna be, or sorry, I don't know why. I just, Diablo and Tychus are just inexorably tied in my head. That I saw Diablo and my mind said Tychus. So there's the Diablo being banned out right there from Bangbush. Three-Legged Cat now deciding on their third ban. Three-Legged Cat going to take away the Zeratul right there. We haven't seen a lot of Zeratul priority here in Masters Clash. I'm a person that's always thinking, oh, that's a squishy backline. Oh, they have no peel. Pick the Zeratul, pick the Zeratul. It's going to be free carry right here. But not a ton of Zera priority in these Masters Clash games, I will say. A bit surprising to see the ban right there, but it will go out, maybe with a lack of point and click, with a lack of peel, and with such a squishy backliner as Lunara, maybe needs to get taken out right there. Ty gonna pick up that Anduin, and Mei! Haven't seen a lot of Meis in Master Clash either. This is going to be a bit different as well. Lauber on that Mei, not quite an aggro pick hero as the Muradin, but I'm excited to see what he can do on this tank right here. Mei, certainly an interesting hero, I will say, into Rhaegar, who's able to hit those cleanses. Mei CC is very telegraphed. I expect to see Captain Rex hit at least a couple big purges this game. Johanna liked what they were able to do with the ETC last game. I saw some big crowd surfer plays. The stage dive used in interesting ways, also as a self-cleanse for the temporal loop. Now Alarak gonna be the final pick here for Skoog. Some very interesting choices here for each team. I gotta say, that is not what I expected. I want to say this is my first Mei and Alarak that I've commentated in about a month of doing Masters Clash. Interesting stuff for sure. Let's go ahead and bring the cam over to me as we wait for this Series 2 get started between, or rather the last game of the Series 2 get started. We of course already had Game 1 with Bangbush taking the victory over Three-Legged Cat on Battlefield of Eternity. Now about to finish out the series. Regardless of the result, it's a best of 2, so only 2 games being played between Bangbush and Three-Legged Cat right here, right now. With the amount of kill pressure that they have, though, that last pick, Alarak, I can't help but think that once again, Johanna has to worry about that kill pressure, has to worry about getting telekinesis right into the action and getting silenced by Skoog on that Alarak. The bullying the tank, as we so often talk about in MC, certainly going to be relevant this game as well. Let's transition into the gameplay here, as on the right side of your screen, for Three-Legged Cat, we have Harayath on the Falstad, Menildor on Dahaka, Captain Rex on Rhaegar, Johanna on ETC, and Drakir on Lunara. On the left side of our screen for Bangbush, we have Ty playing the Anduin, Swamp Grota on Hogger, Skoog on Alarak, Bishops playing Sylvanas, and Lauber playing that Mei. Mei and Alarak, 2 definite first-timers in terms of my casting for Masters Clash this tournament in particular right here. I can't wait to see the dynamics of these characters. Notably, Alarak and Mei, this is a pairing who suit each other very well. Mei wants the enemy heroes to stand in very particular places, and Alarak is very adept at delivering the enemy heroes to those places. Alarak able to compensate for some of Mei's weaknesses in terms of finding those engages, and it might be a pairing that maybe they've practiced before. And let's see right here what Skoog is able to do. Does land the first combo of the game onto Johanna, getting some pick damage right there. I fully expect to see ETC targeted at multiple times, but that's not the only squishy member of the team of Three-Legged Cat. Truly, almost anybody except Dahaka is a viable kill target, and even Dahaka himself, if they can land the CC without allowing him to get inside the burrow. And now there's a purge by Captain Rex preventing the blizzard. Menildor gonna land the tongue onto Skoog, but GG Ty will be able to yank them out no problem. And so far, nobody going down just quite yet, as sappers have spawned for each team certainly looking to get started. Harayath damaging the sapper camp from over the wall as Drakir and Captain Rex contribute. Bishops similarly hanging out, looking for that mid-soak, as we now see Metaldoor lurking near this Hogger. Oh, and here's a Falstad rotation. Falstad, after having helped team, oh, Swamp almost able to push Metaldoor out of that. Hariath taking a lot of damage, but Swamp Grota will be first blood of this game. Hariath dashing forward. Johan Ayaya is also on the scene. Three-legged cat starting this game off with a double kill onto the members of Bangbush and securing this top sappers. Johan Ayaya, rather than walk all the way back down, is simply going to Hearth. I can't help but think that it might have been faster to just go on the mount, but regardless, maybe wanting to stay off the map to limit the amount of information given to the enemy team. Johan Ayaya now rotating through the sapper camp towards these bottom members. Skoog landing the Discord strike onto Alarak, but Captain Rex is not phased by this. Runs right back in, will bite directly onto Lobber, and here is Metaldoor using the Lurker Strain to set up the drag. What a strong mechanical play by Metaldoor right there. And now GG Tai is on an island, somehow able to get the kill on Lunara though before he goes down. At least Anduin making himself a 1-for-1 trade, but 2-for-1 overall in favor of Three-Legged Cat. So far, Three-Legged Cat looking very strong to start this game out. Bishops now getting the black arrows on this top front line of the gate for the side of a Bangbush, getting some push here. Metaldoor rotating in, is joined by Hariath yet again. These globals to the top lane so far proving just to provide so much pressure. Hariath following the shadow wave. Johan Ayaya trying to finish off Bishops, but Bishops able to walk out of there with under 60 HP. Very, very close. I think Hariath maybe could have stayed in longer, and even a single more auto attack would have finished off the kill onto the Sylve right there. Now Hogger coming in with the spin, the geometry able to go for that interrupt. Both the bottom and the top right altars have been secured, and now Three-Legged Cat staying in the area, trying to get the aggressive steal on this altar if they can. Oh, and they're not backing off just quite yet, still staying in here. Bishops will get interrupted by Johan Ayaya sliding in forward aggressively, but Johan Ayaya is on a bit of an island at this point, losing a lot of HP. Metaldoor lands the tongue onto Alarak, dragging them toward their teammates, using the Lurker Strain to interfere with any attempted combo from Skoog. Telekinesis checking the bush, Discord Strike does not land. Johan Ayaya power sliding forward onto Lobber. Lobber able to icing away, will get tongued by Metaldoor. Great tongue, and so far Metaldoor on that Tahaka making some absolutely massive plays. Level 7 has been secured by the members of Three-Legged Cat, but Bangbush is not giving up on this stall just quite yet. Despite being 4v5, despite being down level 7, they still look for the interrupts. Swamp Grota trying to finish off Drakir right here, will actually find it despite being in a bit of a 1v3. Can Swamp Grota escape after getting the pick? No, he cannot. GG Tai still looking for the interrupts right here, and now Metaldoor as well. Not going to be able to find anything just quite yet. Will go straight back up to the top. So 6 kills in the first 4.5 minutes of the game for the members of Three-Legged Cat. Hariath getting aggressed on by Lobber. Lobber and friends now going to back off and head towards the sapper camp of Three-Legged Cat. Not gonna find it. Looking for the combo into Captain Rex. He's a little bit too far away to be able to land it. Not going to hear the combo. I hear Purge is perhaps the shortest range cleanse. It is indeed. Purge is the shortest range cleanse in the game with a range of 6. Meanwhile, Uther, I believe, is the longest range cleanse in the game with a range of 10. Johan Ayaya will get telekinesis back into the blizzard, and there's the classic May Alarak combo. Meanwhile, though, Metaldoor landing the tongue onto Swamp Grota, setting up the spin. Johan Ayaya and friends able to finish off Hogger in that mid lane. So far, strong play from the members of Three-Legged Cat here in this early game. The excellent usage of the globals. Hariath with these rotations to top lane. Metaldoor just landing absolutely everything. Excellent usage of Lurker Strain as well, utilizing the stun and the knockback and the slow to set up their own tongues well. Johan Ayaya just barely not able to land the power slide onto Bishops. A little bit of chip damage going to go onto them, but it is nothing more than chip damage. Level 10's now secured for the members of Three-Legged Cat, who have the advantage. Skoog, what an expert recognition of the amount of danger that they were in, able to use the telekinesis to set themselves closer to the gate, preventing the Mighty Gust from getting a pick. Skoog comboing the bush, afraid that there may have been a member of Three-Legged Cats lurking in there, but not going to happen. Now Johan Ayaya waiting. Remember, Johan Ayaya this time does not have Crowd Surfer, not able to slide over those walls like we saw so many times last game. Skoog missing the Alarak combo onto the ETC, and down level 10, Bangbush not looking to interrupt this altar at the moment. Meanwhile, Swamp Grota able to secure those top sappers against Meneldor. Both teams on even talent tiers at this point, both teams having their heroic. Johan Ayaya looking to slide in on Skoog, and Skoog once again with the well-executed dodge with the self-telekinesis. Now Meneldor and Swamp Grota trading a bit of damage right here. Meneldor not going to land the tongue, but here comes Falstad on the fly, and there is the Hortipult allowing Swamp Grota to escape. He's going to get right on out of there. Bangbush starting to push bottom lane in the moment. Will at least get the lane clear. Johan Ayaya is lurking. There is Lauber. Blizzard gonna zone Johan Ayaya away from their gate, but here is the Alarak combo interrupted by the face melt from Johan Ayaya. Bishop's popping that Black Arrows, wants to shut off the structures, but immediately thinks against it and decides not going to go ahead and back out here. Swamp Grota clearing that top lane. Meanwhile, Meneldor lurking between the lanes. We'll start to rotate, and we may see a 5-on-4 in favor of Three-Legged Cat right here, but the members of Bangbush playing safe, playing a little bit back at the moment. Not going to get engaged on in this temporary 5-on-4. Skoog starting to rotate down to bot lane, but meanwhile, here's Johan Ayaya sliding on Lauber in the mid lane. Lauber cancels his icing very, very early. Johan Ayaya and Swamp trading damage over here. Meneldor landing the long-range tongue of the Swamp Grota. He's going to spin right on out of there, though. Nothing happening just quite yet. Drakir going to use a bit of downtime before this next objective to get started with the Sapper Camp. Oh, here come the members of Bangbush, though, looking for the invade as they are aware that Johan Ayaya is not here, but here's the stage dive, landing onto 3 different members of Bangbush, but the avalanche allowing Bangbush to complete the successful invade of the Sapper Camp, but there's about to be a fight. Captain Rex hitting the Ancestral Healing on themselves, Light Bomb onto the mid-spin Hogger, and now there is a Discord Strike, just barely, not even with the point, able to hit Johan Ayaya, but Bangbush got to be happy with stealing that Sapper Camp successfully. Johan Ayaya power slides in aggressively. Oh, Alarak not able to land the Discord Strike because of the well-timed tongue by Meneldor, and the sadism will be reset thanks to Meneldor playing absolutely out of their mind here, hitting these tongues, and now Bangbush going to retreat toward their own Sapper Camp. They are down 13 and down a person, so they do have to be cognizant of the threat of an invade from Three-Legged Cat, who are certainly exploring the possibility. Three-Legged Cat with their 13 stepping forward here, and they say, hey, thanks so much for starting this camp for us. We're going to go ahead and finish that off, and now completing the trade of the Sapper Camps between these two teams, each team successfully invading the other. Swamp Grota using that Hortipult yet again to escape a gank. Hariath using that moment with Swamp in mid lane to get some push pressure here on top. They're going to trade some damage back and forth. It also looks like there may be a fight formulating here in bottom as we see the members of Three-Legged Cat lurking. 13's now secured for Bangbush. This is a lightning build Alarak, which is the least dependent on sadism build. Johan Ayaya making the curious decision to rotate in vision instead of out of it, almost getting punished by the members of Bangbush, but consistently, Skoog is having a tough time finding these Alarak combos mid-fight into all the disruption of Meneldor and Johan Ayaya on the Dahaka and ETC respectively. The amount of CC that these heroes are able to provide is preventing Alarak from being able to provide the value that he's looking for. Both teams on equal talent tiers here, still in the mid-game. Neither team pulling super far ahead just quite yet, but a full level lead being enjoyed by the members of Three-Legged Cat. Power Slide just barely touches onto Ty, who dies before the Light Bomb can even go off. Hariath jumping over the wall, Gus Lauber into the corner. Avalanche only going to land onto Johan Ayaya. Captain Rex Ancestral Healing onto himself. Skoog is hit by the stage dive and will be finished off by Meneldor. Now Swamp is isolated, forced to use a third straight Hortipult for safety, but it still isn't enough to save his life. And again, Three-Legged Cat looking so different here in this game number 2. 11 kills to 0. Absolutely wonderful performance. About to hit this level 16. Lauber looking for the interrupt on that altar. Lunara able to find the top right altar. Meanwhile, Hariath taking out this Sapper Camp, and Lauber looking for another interrupt if they can find it. Not able to. The successful altar steal now going out. Drakir getting big damage on Lauber in the meantime. Johan Ayaya not in range for the power slide. Lauber Lobber able to walk right on out of there, and Menildor might be thinking about this top sapper camp after this wave. Menildor completing the wave, but will start rotating to mid lane. Not going to want that sapper camp just quite yet. Johanna lurking in the area, and the members of Three-Legged Cat want to see if they can catch Bang Bush on the rotation right here. Remember, they do have 16 advantage, and this may be a bit of an unexpected move. Ty lurking, doesn't want to rotate until there's the spray right there, aware that there's very likely a member of Three-Legged Cat lurking in that bush, looking at his actions, and Ty not going to get baited into rotating when he doesn't have any vision of the enemy team. But hold on a second, here's Skoog on the sapper camp, will immediately get slid by Johan Ayaya, popping that counter strike, will go down, sadism reset yet again, and this is another successful sapper camp invade by the members of Three-Legged Cat, who now rotate towards mid. Swamp Grota sliding on out of there, Menildor on this sapper camp, Lobber clearing it as well. Here comes Swamp Grota, Menildor able to complete it before the members of Bang Bush arrive, however, Menildor completing those sappers, and now a bot lane push from the members of Three-Legged Cat without their main tank. Still level 16 advantage, going to be for just a few seconds longer for Three-Legged Cat. Bang Bush about to reach that threshold as well, and going to be on equal talent tiers once again. 16s have been achieved for the members of Bang Bush. Lightning build Alarak hitting a big power spike, in particular getting those double lightnings. Bishop's able to avoid any serious kill threat right there, and it's a 5-on-5 equal talent tiers in the current situation. Everybody alive, everybody equal. Lobber slides directly in, goes on to Harath. Here comes Skoog on the left side. Lobber already using his ice block, and the telekinesis delivers ETC directly into the icing, forcing out the ancestral healing from Captain Rex. The avalanche hits both ETC and Falstead. Top right altar has been collected. And meanwhile, the members of Bang Bush looking for this altar if they can get it. ETC is not at this fight. ETC looking for the capture of the top left altar. Will be able to find it and then stage dive into the fight. Expect that stage dive any second once that capture is completed. Harath combo from Skoog does not land once again on the Alarak. Looking a little bit questionable. ETC backing into base for a little bit of healing before this stage dive. Chastise going to root Johanna immediately upon landing. Power slide is still available. Johanna though taking so much damage in the meantime will go down. First kill of this fight in favor of Bang Bush. Skoog dropping so low. Menildor landing the isolation before finishing off Alarak. Now Menildor will be next to fall from Bishops. Make it Rhaegar as well. 3 kills to 2 in favor of Bang Bush. Hogger dropping down just below camera in that bot lane, but still in favor of Bang Bush overall. 3 kills to 2. Harath able to get that stall with the hammering explosion over the wall, but now has to worry about Bishops and Lobber on his tail, chasing him towards top lane. Uses Gust, but Bishops with the perfectly timed Shadow Wave to completely deny the Gust and chase Harath even through it. And now Bang Bush with a well-timed 4 kills. That's going to give them ample opportunity to secure control and wrest control of this map back from the hands of Three-Legged Cat and into their own as they look for the invade on the sappers. Not going to find it, instead looking for the bot push. Absolutely massive fight right there from Bang Bush, and what we're seeing over and over is the higher rated team consistently losing in the early game only to just execute better in these team fights consistently over and over. Johanna stage diving nearly directly into their doom, almost going to go down immediately after ulting in, will be forced to hearth after a narrow escape, and the members of Bang Bush finishing off this bell tower able to secure an advantage in this bot lane. Swamp over here completing the sapper camp on the side of Bang Bush will finish it off. Three-Legged Cat now. Johanna heading toward this boss pit, gonna see if they can catch anybody out by surprise. Swamp Grota getting that soak from mid lane. The members of Three-Legged Cat are lurking, looking for the gank, but Swamp Grota heading back toward his team. The rest of the members of Bang Bush looking to hopefully get their sapper camp in right here to get some extra shots onto the core of Three-Legged Cat. Sapper 1, Sapper 2, and Sapper 3. All 3 Sappers for Bangbush get into the kill zone, doing 3 total damage to the core of Three-Legged Cat. Now, Menaldor on those top Sappers. Meanwhile, here we have Swamp Grota capping on that bottom altar. Menaldor going to finish off this top Sapper, and the 2 teams will meet up at this mid-altar for a fight. Level 20 in favor of Three-Legged Cat, so maybe Bangbush not actually going to contest this. I'm a bit surprised by this decision, as Swamp Grota is slid on, will be able to slide right on out of there, or rather spin, able to get the angle, and that is a large stage dive from Johan Ayaya. Not going to take a bunch of damage on the landing, and there he is. Now the members of Bangbush completely zoned out. They know they're not going to fight this down level 20. Perfectly happy to cede this over, and Bangbush getting the control, getting that cap just after seizing control of the top bell tower, securing them 4 shots instead of 3. Bangbush still level 20 as they approach the members of Three-Legged Cat, or Bangbush rather still looking for level 20 as they approach the members of Three-Legged Cat. Drakir getting a bit of chip damage in the meantime. Bangbush just under 19, fishing for whatever they can, getting a bit of wave clear. Here's Johan Ayaya on the flank, though, starts to curl around towards the left side of this fight. And of course, anytime you're talking about Falstad's level 20, you're thinking about those mighty gusts, you're thinking about those wind tunnels. If the members of Bangbush are not careful, they could find themselves perma-stunned into this wall thanks to those constant pushes. Hogger still thinking about his level 20 right here, not exactly sure what he wants to go. Big avalanche going to be chosen by Lauber. Menaldor with deeply aggressive position right here, maybe trying to find a Hogger, not going to find anything right here, as all 5 members of Bangbush actually on the bottom side of the map yet again, consistently in this late game. Swamp Grota spending a lot of time joined with his team in the bottom side, not trying to get caught on those rotations. All 5 members of Bangbush here about to push with these Sappers. Bishop's taking huge damage in the trade with Drakir and Harayath. Alarak combo landing onto Drakir, not going to be able to do too much, however. Sappers now approaching once more, and that's actually going to be a light bomb. What is this? Hold on a second. Swamp Grota yanked out of the action. He did the light bomb. Wait a second. Menaldor with a massive tongue onto Skoog. Skoog popping that counter-strike, but will go down. That was an ambitious play to be attempted by Bangbush, and now Harayath attempting to punish, see if he can get this capture before the members of Bangbush can even arrive. He will be able to finish it off. What an excellent punish by the members of Three-Legged Cat right here, who immediately, without even a second thought, get started with this boss while they know they have the 5-on-4 pressure. Johan Ayaya stage dives aggressively forward, not able to find any members of Bangbush. Lauber now taking a bunch of damage. Menaldor cannot miss with these tongues, lands another big one. 5-on-3 in favor of Three-Legged Cat. All they need to do is simply take the boss. Here's a no control from Hogger, will lead immediately to his death. Now an aggressive step forward by Bishops off of the Shadow Wave, not able to find anything. And now the rest of Three-Legged Cat, all they need to do is simply take this boss in the 5-on-2. There's only so much Anduin and Sylvanas can do. Looking for the light bomb play, trying to finish off Captain Rex, will find it, but Bishops goes down, and with him the chances for Bangbush to win this game. It's all down to Ty. Ty is wind tunneled on out of there. Only so much he could do anyway. And GG Three-Legged Cat on evening out this series 1-1. Well done by Three-Legged Cat, looking like an entirely different team in game number 2 from the very start of the game, successfully taking those fights, getting that double kill and the Sapper Camp. The global play, absolutely excellent. I look at that, and while certainly there were big plays all around from all members of Three-Legged Cat, the Falstad's rotations in that top lane onto Hogger, Swamp Grota forced to use his first 3 Hortipults for safety right there. Dahaka landing just absolutely everything. The decisions on when to rotate, the lurker strain, self-setup, so absolutely huge, just over and over and over from the members of Three-Legged Cat right there. Well done. They did not look like the number 6 overall rated team here in this game, evening up the series versus Bangbush, the number 3 overrated. Overall rated. That was a slip. I did not mean to say that. Alrighty, between these two teams. That would be toxic to say. I'm not saying that. All right. Between these two teams, let's take a look at that scoreboard right here. Whew. Absolutely crazy stuff. 19 kills to 7 by the members of Three-Legged Cat. A 12 kill lead over the side of Bangbush. Big stuff right there. The big stage dive, the crowd pleaser, just absolutely massive. Great casting, Bakri. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I hope the rest of you all enjoy the rest of your day here, as that was our final game of the day for Masters Clash. Only 3 series today, as normally there are 4 series in a day, but Oxygen versus Rage Quit was played on Saturday rather than Sunday. Was our final series of the day. A bit of a risky Alarak pick here. I just a bit of a mix-up by Lauber and Skoog going for that May Alarak and not able to produce the consistent results they would have wanted. Such excellent play. Johanna Ayaya always disrupting those Alarak combos. He looked like he was in danger over and over and over, and somehow managed to squeak out of that with only 1 death. So well played by Three-Legged Cat. GG.